Welcome to Slasher Sunday. I am back from my vacation. Now, I did not take a vacation from the channel on purpose. I did take a vacation in California, brought all my stuff as usual. I've reviewed tons of films on vacation, was going to do the same here. Had Apostle to watch, Haunting of Hill House, you know, all sorts of shit. I was super excited about a lot of things, had them all lined up, didn't bring any movies with me, brought my laptop, brought everything, got this hotel. Internet there was fucking dog shit. Awful. Couldn't use it. So I didn't watch anything. I haven't watched anything. I didn't watch anything for like 5 straight days. I got to do a live video here on the channel with Brad Thornton. Anyway, so enough of that. I'm just, in case you guys are wondering where the hell I have been, I've been desperately wanting to review. I've been desperately wanting to watch movies, but I haven't been able to. So I'm back home now. Let's get back into the shit. Slasher Sunday time. Let's do this. Now, I watched a podcast. I didn't watch it. I listened to it. It was on YouTube. That's why I'm screwing this up with the watching. But I listened to it on YouTube. I was moving. I moved recently, as you guys know. And I listened to a podcast. I was listening to a bunch of different podcasts. I was trying to get inspiration for my channel, or for my podcast. And I listened to these guys, you know, a few different people, and I wasn't really big on them. And then I saw this 7.5 hour long podcast from these guys, and I was like, there's no way this is 7.5 straight hours. This must just be like a compilation of multiple podcasts strung together to make up this top 50 slasher films list. And no, it was one straight fucking 7.5 hour episode that they did. And they did research for the year. They watched like 150 movies each plus to get their top 50 slasher movies of all time and rated them all top 1 to 50 in order. Incredible. I mean, what an incredible fucking thing to do. And they do a podcast like every week. They're called the Exploding Heads Podcast. And they got Dave Z, and they got Christian, and they got Brandon. And I love all three of them. They were the first guys that I found in the podcasting world. I listened to a bunch of stuff, and there was some stuff that I liked. But it just wasn't connecting with anybody. And I'm telling you, man, I'll listen to that 7.5 hour thing all in one day. Because I was moving, I had stuff to do, and I just had it pumping through my ears the whole time. And I really respect these guys a lot. They really do their research. They really break down films like I do. They talk forever like I do, like you guys know. I wanted to give them a huge shout out, a huge thank you to those guys. They actually, Dave and Brandon were talking recently on one of their things, and they were talking about getting me on their show because I supported their Patreon and talking to them, whatever. I would love to go on their show. So hopefully in the future you will hear me on the Exploding Heads podcast if you listen to them. I've been talking to Dave Z privately on Instant Messenger, Facebook thing. Really cool guy. We have a lot of very similar opinions. Of course, we're going to differ here and there, but this isn't what I'm here to do. I'm just giving you guys, I want to give them a huge shout out and a thank you to Dave for checking the channel out, for everything, and all the guys for doing what they do, because they're really great at it. And I absolutely, if you're looking for a podcast besides mine, because mine's first, right? Check out the Exploding Az. They have such a great back catalog. I only have one fucking episode, so you're going to be done with mine in like 5 seconds and be like, all right, I need something more. Exploding Heads podcast. You can find them on iTunes. You can find them on YouTube. Whatever. Okay, I'm done. Let's get on with Death Valley now. Now, the reason I brought that up, outside of just pimping out them, I really wanted to give them a shout out because I think they're fucking awesome. But they did their top 50 slashers, and I wrote down and took note of the few slashers in their list that I haven't seen. You know me, slashers are my thing, and I'm gonna have seen the majority of them. But there were some that I haven't seen, and there were some that I knew of, like Death Valley, that I was like, fuck yeah, I know, I need to watch that one. And that was in an honorable mention, if I remember correctly. I was like, all right, it's time. And I have other ones. So a bunch of of Slasher Sundays to come will be because of Exploding Heads podcast. That is, I have all their ones that I have not seen that got honorable mentions or were on their list, like Night School and whatever. Those are all getting done here. I'm just going to do them in succession. So there you go. Thanks to them for many weeks to come of Slasher Sunday. So let's talk about Death Valley. Now, Death Valley, as I said, I didn't really know much about it. The only thing I knew was that Ralphie was in it from Christmas Story, and that the cover of this film looks like a fucking blow-up doll with his mouth open. Like a blow-up doll always has his mouth open, but that's what it looks like. It's Ralphie's face, but like drawn like a cartoon, but it looks like a fucking blow-up doll. Every time I ever saw it, it's probably one of the reasons I never watched this movie. I was like, what? There's like fucking dolls in Death Valley. Like, I don't know. It's not what I actually thought, but it wasn't an appealing poster to me, and I don't know. I never really got it. And honestly, I have to say, I was not a fan of this movie almost at all. I really didn't like it. I found it to be kind of a chore to get through. I thought there was a lot of ridiculousness in it. And this is a slasher movie. Of course there's a lot of ridiculousness in it. That's to be expected as always. But man, I was having a real hard time with so many stupid things in this film. We also got, the actress that plays Andy's mom in Child's Play in here, Christina Hicks. So that was cool to see her. She plays the main character. And we also got Wilford Brimley. And at this point, I'm not sure he has the diabetes, but this is the same year that The Thing was released. So 1982, he made Death Valley, which takes place in the hottest place, one of the hottest places on Earth. This is kind of funny. I just realized this. It takes place in one of the hottest places on Earth. And then that same year, he releases, The Thing, which takes place in Antarctica. And it's like the coldest place on Earth. And the contrast there. I never thought about that. That's really funny. He went from like literally filming in the desert heat and he's sweating crazy, whatever. And then he goes to like this frigid, crazy temperature. I bet like he was dreaming. Whichever one he filmed first, he was probably dreaming of the other one whilst making this. You know what I mean? Like if he made you know what I mean. But it was funny to think of, like, now that I'm thinking about it, he's probably sitting on set like, oh man, I wish I was back in the freezing fucking cold. It's so hot out here. Or vice versa, whichever one he did. The music and the opening, the whole opening, like, let's say you were like panning through the channels, right? You're just checking or whatever. You don't know anything about this movie. You're just like going through the channels and boom, you hit this movie just as it starts. And you're like, oh, what's this? And you don't look at the title, nothing. Even the title, I don't think. I mean, Death Valley, of course, it screams horror, but that doesn't absolutely mean. It could mean anything, obviously. It's not like The House That Drips Blood. Like, that's definitely a horror movie. Death Valley could be one or the other. But yeah, you throw this on in the opening. Oh my God, dude. The opening feels like a family drama of the 70s or something. It's really weird. It's like this montage of a guy played by the husband in Overboard, the one that leaves her behind and is like partying with the chicks on the boat. But he's like walking his son around, and his son's playing chess, and his son, I don't know, there's a really weird scene. I didn't even write this down, but I'm just remembering it. Maybe I missed something, but his son gets beaten chess. Now, throughout the movie, the kid is clearly brilliant. Like, he says a lot of things that showcase how intelligent that this kid is supposed to be. But, like, he's playing this dude in the park with his dad sitting next to him. And he loses in chess to him in, like, not very many moves. And the dad looks at him like, you're a fucking failure, and I want to, I'm glad that your mom's taking you away. I hope I never see you again, you loser. I don't know. It's a really weird look that he gives Ralphie. And I don't know. It was weird to me. I don't know what was up that scene, but I was just like, damn, man. He's like 6 or something in this movie. He can't be more than like 8. And this guy is like just like giving the kid the look like, you fucking idiot. Like, how could you possibly lose to this probably chess champion. Those guys that sit out there in the parks in New York or whatever and that play chess out in this, those guys are no joke. Those guys are fucking, you know, real hardcore guys who play chess all day. That's what they do. And here comes this like 6-year-old and he's playing chess with this guy and the father's like, you piece of shit. I hope you shoot your eye out. Boom! Alright, yeah, I just thought it was really weird. And then it gets like super dramatic, like the dad and the son are sitting out there, which is fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just, it's such a weird intro for a slasher movie. I mean, that's essentially what this turns into. So very, very mismatched on the tones throughout here. But that opening music, my fucking god, and the way everything is pieced together, what in the hell? I don't know if like they changed the direction of the film like halfway through. They're like, yeah, this isn't working. Let's just fucking start killing people. That's almost how it feels. 30 minutes in, there is nothing to make you even believe that this is a horror movie. This is just a kid who has to leave his dad behind. He's meeting the mom's new boyfriend. The mom's new boyfriend is trying really hard and the kid wants dad. He doesn't want this guy, so he's like pushing back against him. And there's like a little, you know, animosity going on and the guy's trying to keep his cool so that he can continue to keep fucking, well, I don't even know if he's fucked her at this point. I don't know how developed into this their relationship is. It seems like this is their first time hanging out as a family together. I don't know. She doesn't, his dad does make a claim that like she's really lonely, but why would he know her personal life? I don't know. But yeah, just up until the RV scene. Now, the only kills in this movie, here's a huge problem. The only kills in this movie are throat slashes. That's it. That's the only thing that happens in this entire film. Is the only deaths in this film outside of the killer's demises themselves. But besides that, the killer killing people is just throat slits, throat slits, throat slits. That's his fucking MO. That's what he does throughout the film. It's really boring. It's really silly. And I just, ugh. And then speaking of the RV scene, oh my God. This girl is like, I hate tube tops. I despise them. I've always really not cared for them much at all. Any shirt, especially shirts that come up to here and they're just around their tube tops and they go all the way down. I don't know. It's never been flattering to the tits, in my opinion. And you know I'm a boob man like crazy. But this girl makes me rethink my entire like titty apparel stance. She, like, tube tops were made for this woman's body. Oh my God, it accentuates everything. She has a perfect everything, wonderful. And there's a scene, he comes up behind her and he's like kissing her neck, and it's like the lamest, most unerotic, most like unsensual, unsexual, you know, foreplay scene I think I've ever watched. The guy's like lightly kissing, but it's not like cute kissing. It's like a guy who hates the actress, or maybe is a homosexual or something, where it's just like he's like it's like kissing, you know, like in the movie when the guy has, when he has like he like puts his hand out, the ring out, or like whatever, and the guy has to like begrudgingly kiss his ring, like, I don't want to do this, but I have to concede, like I have to give in. You know that part in that movie, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I've seen a ton of movies like that where the guy, you know, has dominance over one of the characters and he's like, kiss my fucking ring or I kill you, and the guy's like, that's how he was kissing this chick's neck. It was just like so fucking stupid. And with this girl's body, oh my God, he should have been like fucking he should have been all over this chick, whether it was in the movie, like if we're talking like in story movie you know, stuff here, or we're talking just the actor, like, look at this chick, how could you not want to just destroy her? I don't know. Maybe his girlfriend was like sitting behind the camera like, motherfucker, I will really slit your throat. They won't even have to put prosthetics on your neck. I will literally slit your motherfucking throat with that chick. Anyway, all right. This is how much I wasn't a big fan of the movie. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to spend like 10 minutes talking about this chick in a fucking tube top. But then they go to pull her tits out, right? And you want to see them. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're fucking, you know, whatever, like whatever fucking six identifications they came up with today. Whatever. I don't care what you're into. If you're not into, these girls' tits are going to be something you want to see. And they go to fucking like do it, and they don't do it, and then it's just hands, 2 pairs of hands over her tits, right? And you're thinking, okay, like that sucks. That sucks. The girl didn't want to show her tits. I respect that. She doesn't have to, no doubt about it. I would really wish that she would have. Then it cuts to the next scene, and like the guy gets his throat slit, and she's screaming and whatever, and then she's scared. And then they show her tits. Like she's like scared and like trying to fight back against the guy. And it's for like a second or two. And it's like, wait a minute. Why? Because in that moment, like you don't want to see her tits in that moment. It's not a terrible thing. I'm glad I got to see them at least. But I want to see them in the sensual scene. Because that's the scene where it's erotic. That's the scene where it's hot. That's what, like when she's getting attacked, her tits then not, you know, don't really become sexual to me. They become like, oh, this poor girl is getting accosted. She's getting, you know, murdered, whatever. That takes that moment of like sexuality out of it. So it's like, I don't want to see her tits now. Like, I mean, as I said, I can take myself out of the moment and be like, yeah, those are nice. But why? Why not show them there when she was okay to show them? Clearly, she showed them. But that, I don't know. That is such a weird fucking choice and is just yet another reason why I was not a big fan of this film. Yes, tits can be that big of a deal to me. No, it's not just that. It's just really, come on now. Ugh. And I feel bad for the stepdad, you know, the eventual stepdad, what he's going to try to become here. He's trying so hard. If you've ever dated a chick with a kid and you're trying to get close, and all that, it's such a terrible, like being a step-parent sucks. Seriously, if you have a step-parent, you're being a dick to them, and they don't deserve it. Like, if you really think about it, and you're like, why am I being a dick to them? It's not their fault, whatever. I'm sure there's no, like, 10-year-olds watching this, but fuck, come on, man. Like, this is such a shitty job. I've done it before, and it sucks, man, because then, like, you break up, and, like, the kid's not even yours, and you get no credit for it. You never get any credit as a step-parent. It just sucks, man. Some do, but most don't. Ralphie's acting in this, you know, he's a kid. He's a really young kid. I think it's okay, but he's just got that, like, lost look in his eyes, like, every scene. That's his expression in every fucking scene. He has these, like, Coke bottle glasses on, so it just, like, amplifies his eyes, so it's like all you see is just eyeballs. He's scary looking, man. Kid. Holy Christ. And all right, let's try to stick to my notes a little bit here. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, I like how Ralphie just goes around, snoops around somebody's RV and then just like steals a gold necklace. The gold necklace that just so happens to be the necklace of the killer, like of the killer's brother, I guess. What can please someone? I only watched this once. Maybe there's a huge fan of it out there. What the fuck was the killer's motive of this movie? Like, I get that there was a gold rush and his dad died out there in that area and there's people in that area and maybe he's trying to... Why Ralphie? Like, why those people? Like, what in the fuck? Just no motive? He's just a killer? He just wanted to kill it? Like, did I miss something there? I might have. So please explain it to me. This is why I love talking. This is why I love my podcast. If I watch this film with a couple people and chat it out, that's those kinds of moments where I'm like, did I miss something? Maybe I wasn't into it. I don't understand the fucking the reasoning. A killer doesn't absolutely need a motive. I mean, Halloween's my favorite fucking movie. Michael Myers has no motive in the first one. Outside of that, Laurie's just someone he takes fancy to. But I don't know. I could not find any reason. And then there's a twin brother. And it's just out there. It's way too out there. It's too convenient. It's too not really all well thought out. Oh yeah, one thing I really liked about the mom is that she says that she's talking to Ralphie and she's like, you know, he's like, you really like her, you know, you really like him, don't you? And you're gonna marry him. And she's like, well, that's all gonna depend on you. Good mom, right there. Okay, good mom that she cares so much of what Ralphie thinks about her dude that she won't marry him unless they get along. That's exactly how I am. You don't get along with my kids, I don't care if you're the greatest fucking... I don't care if you have that chick's tits here with the tube top on. I don't give a shit. You don't get along with my kid, then no, absolutely not. We're not staying together. Although if you got that girl's body, we can at least hang out for a couple nights. But yeah, no, absolutely not. No, 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 no. So I liked that about that. The mom really seemed to genuinely be a good mom. I liked the chemistry between the family. Like, that was what I was saying. Like, this feels like a good family drama with unnecessary horror thrown in to make it a slasher movie. It just, the slasher elements didn't work for me at all in a slasher movie. I don't get, there's no, I don't know. It just, none of that was working. I like how Ralphie's like, I want to turn myself in. I don't care if I get 99 years. I thought that was pretty funny. Isn't there something in Christmas Story like that? Where he has this like vision. Yeah, basically, yeah, when he gets the soap in the mouth and he's blind and all that. He has like these fantasies of this ridiculous, horrendous future. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Wilfred Brimley's chest in this movie. Maybe he made The Thing before this, and that's why this is like this. Dude, he's wearing like a low-cut shirt here, and it is so hairy up to his neck right here. It looks like he's a bear costume on underneath. It is unbelievably thick. It's crazy thick hair on his chest. I thought that was noteworthy for some reason, but it seriously was like, wow. I like how the guy at the like tombstone like place that they go to comes up and he shoots the guy, he comes up to the kid and he gives him a badge and he's like, there you go, kid. And then he turns around to the parents and he's like, that'll be $1. It's like, what, motherfucker? Reminds me of the hitchhiker in, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's like, it's a good picture. Like, that'll be $2. It's like, what? I'm not giving you money, motherfucker. I didn't ask for this. Like, I just thought that was funny. They went in there, and the guy shoots the guy and gives the kid the badge, gives it to him, and he's like, that'll be $1. And it's like, did I ask him? Maybe they did. Maybe they went over to him, and they were like, do this. But you'd think they'd pay him on the spot so that the kid, it wouldn't take away from that moment where that kid actually, like, you could have actually let them just lay down and be like, oh my God, like, whatever. But still, at the same time, it's like taking the kid out of the magic when the parent has to, like, pay him in front of them. You know, it's like paying the clown in front of the kids at their birthday party. It'd be really fucking weird. I don't know. Anyway, just asking for $1. So shitty. Such a lame thing to do. Like, especially, yeah, like, I don't want it. Like, and it's so fucked up because, like, he's already given it to the kid. So then you got to be like, I don't want this, and take it from the kid and give it back to him when it's like this cowboy in this cool town and he just got in this gunfight and you're taking this away from the kid. So it's like, you're basically like, in it. Like, you have to do it, basically. Like, if you have kids, you understand what I'm talking about. It's like, well, now I can't take it from him, you motherfucker. So here's your $1, you swindler. Or as one of my clients said earlier, what did she say? She had a word for it. She was like, fuck, I can't remember. Maybe I'll come up with it. I don't want to, this video is already running too damn long. But the blood in this is so giallo. It is so Dawn of the Dead. It is so that like 70s paint red, not even slightly blood-like. It is awful. Blood like this always annoys the shit out of me. The blood in freaking Halloween is pretty terrible too. On the mechanic's chest, that is way, way too bright red. Not this bad though. Not fucking Dawn of the Dead giallo bad, but it's a little too red for what blood actually looks like. I like how, yeah, Wilford gets the freaking pickaxe into his chest. So I guess that's one kill other than the throat slit. So I'm contradicting myself, but I forgot about it. So what the fuck do I know? I like how the guy fires a real gun in there, because they'd be using like cap guns essentially. They wouldn't be using like blanks in a place like that where it would go off like an actual gun, because people would be complaining about the noise. Like when they do the fire outs there, it's not that loud. If you've ever seen them, I've seen fucking Wild West shootout stuff. I dated a girl whose dad was not Doc Holliday, but freaking Johnny Ringo. He plays Johnny Ringo at Tombstone. He still does it to this day. So if you ever go to Tombstone, the guy who plays Johnny Ringo is my ex-girlfriend's father. Anyway, doesn't matter. But I've seen a bunch of those kinds of shows, and the guns are pretty quiet comparatively to a real gunshot. If you've ever fired a real gun without ear protection, it will fucking deafen you, like for hours. It will ring it. Oh god, it's awful. But this guy fires a real gun at Ralphie, and Ralphie laughs because he thinks it's a joke. No fucking way. You tell the huge difference between the gun. Yes, I know I'm being nitpicky, but fuck off. This is what I do. He fires the gun, it blows off this bear's head or whatever, this wooden statue, and then he freaking, like, he's like, ho ho, laughing, and then these tourists come up and they're like, hey, can I get your autograph? Or like, whatever the hell they're doing. I can't remember if it's an autograph or they're like, fucking, can I suck your dick? I can't remember, something. But they distract the guy. Like, they're like just tourists, and they were right there. They were in the room not 2 seconds ago. And no, like, nothing, you just fired a gun at a child and no one seemed to notice. Yeah, fucking right. And, oh my god, the babysitter? A babysitter in this movie? I'm sorry. Oh my god. Woof, woof. I freaking expected, freaking Teddy Bear from Friday the 13th Part 4 to come out. Hey, honey, you got a sister? Woof, woof. Holy shit, this chick was... Oh, she was unfortunate looking, to say the least. And I don't know, they like stereotyped the shit out of her. Not only was she clearly considerably overweight and really unattractive, but they made her like this food stealer. She just like and she was like crinkling. Oh my god, I wanted to fucking kill her. I wanted to kill her. I was actually glad when she died. That's terrible to say, but it's true. She's like unbelievably awful in this movie. She's physically unappealing, so which is fucked up, but it's true. And then she's like stealing this kid's food. She's like, you're not gonna eat that, are you? You gonna eat that? You gonna eat that? Did someone say steak? It was fucking Deuce Bigelow for a second. But she's just like, could I take this? Could I take that? And she like fucking takes these things and she's eating, and then she like folds up each one of the things and it's all crinkly and she's so fucking annoying. And then a killer kills her and I jump out of my seat and I'm like, yeah, fucking A. Kill her. Oh, Jesus Christ. They made her unbelievably annoying on all levels. The crinkling. You ever been in the movie theater and there's just like this dramatic scene going on and it's really like intense and you're trying to listen to the dialogue and some fucking asshole sitting next to you. Oh, crinkle. Fuck. Ah. Can't stand that shit. Killer is so calm. I did like that about the killer in this. Super calm. It's the guy from Pontypool. He's been in a ton of shit. But he's like goes to the door and he's like, hey, Billy, or yeah, Billy, because he calls him Billy the Kid and his name is actually Billy. He's like, oh, you know, I don't want to damage the door because that'll make a big mess, so I'm just gonna take off the fucking front of this door here. And he just takes his knife out and he's just gently, and then Ralphie or Billy goes and he concocts this like mace, concoction. Almost, it reminds me of stuff like Phantasm when freaking little Mike, right? Yeah, no, Mike's the older one. What is his name? It's been too long. I need to revisit that series. Jesus Christ. Anyways, the kid goes and grabs the hammer and he tapes the fucking shotgun shell to it and he, boom, blows the door open. Still, I want to see that on Mythbusters. See if that works. Probably not. But it just reminds me. I've seen it every time I see a movie like that where a kid, grabs and MacGyvers the shit out of something. It just always reminds me of that. Anyways, so that was kind of cool that he did that. And then he also used the steam of the shower to like cut down the visibility in there, and then really cuts down the visibility. And then he goes and he hides in he's being stalked by this car that he can perfectly describe to Wilford Brimley, the sheriff in this movie. Kind of reminded me of freaking Chunk in The Goonies when he's like, is this car and it had bullet holes in it and whatever. That's exactly how I was describing this fucking thing, and this predates The Goonies, so I don't know. But it's like he can describe this thing down the thing, but then he goes and he decides to hide in the car There's other cars in that lot. He goes in and decides to hide in that car that he seems to know, and then that guy gets in there and he drives off with him in the car, which he doesn't know he's in the car, but maybe he does. I don't fucking know. And then they get back to the place. The dad comes and he overhears these yokels talking about who they think did it, which then he goes over and he confronts a fucking like hotel manager. He's like, where is this guy's house? And it's like such a small town, I guess, that everyone knows where everyone lives. So he gives them directions and they go out there. And then he's like, they get in the fight, and he gets him down, and he kills him, thinks he kills him, or he does kill him. Yeah, he kills him because it's his brother, whatever. And then Ralphie's like, there's the car right there. And they can take the car and they can go off. And Ralphie's like, no, not that car. I can't get in that car. And they're like, all right, fine, fuck it. We'll just hoof it through the like dark desert freaking landscape on foot at night. Like, get the fuck out of here. That is the moment when you're like, look, I know I was trying to win you over earlier, and I know you were scared, but we're taking this fucking car. Get in. If he wouldn't have done that, then the guy couldn't have got to them as fast as he did. Whatever. That was so stupid to me. That was so fucking stupid. They also use the mirror trick in this, which I've seen in tons of movies. I've seen it in The Collector, and I've seen it in Jurassic Park, and I've seen it in all sorts of things, where someone thinks it's the person, and then it shatters, and it's actually the mirror. As opposed, well, it's not a mirror in Jurassic Park. It's a fucking oven reflection, and raptors are so stupid they can't. Well, they're smart, but they're they're not brilliant by human standards. But we see it as clearly her. But yeah, they use that in here, and this is '82, so this is way before those two. But yeah, like. And then he drives his dead brother over and then props him in the seat of the driver's side. Like, did he die taking his brother over there? Or, like, was he actually dead? Or, like, I don't fucking know. And then Billy shoots this guy in the chest, like, dead on, right dead center in the chest. And this doesn't even faze the fucking guy. He's just, like, keeps coming after him. And it's like, I don't care who you are. If you took a slug straight through the chest right here, no fucking way. Okay, no fucking way. And there's just no motive, and there's no nothing, and then it just ends, and it's like, that's it? Well, fuck, dude, no. So, okay, anyways, no gore, barely any tits, barely any fun, like, no motive for the killer. Killer was forgettable, characters were forgettable. There wasn't, besides the family, which, as I said, I felt like we're in a completely different fucking movie. I don't know. Catherine Hicks's character was completely underused here, except for her emotional scenes with the son. I just wasn't feeling her stuff much. Like when her kid's missing, the stepfather seems more concerned than she does. He's the one going and doing things about it. She should have been the one grabbing the fucking dude. Where the fuck is he, you piece of shit? Like, she could do that with Chucky. Like, talk to me, you son of a bitch, or I'll throw you in the fire. Whatever. I don't know. Anyways, all right, I'm done rambling. Check out Exploding Heads podcast, YouTube, iTunes, whatever. They're fucking awesome. Good night.